45 minutes of absolute disaster class from Rodri. Rodri, you thought we were not going to see this disaster class? I mean, we know Rodri hasn't really played since the Euros, but guys, there is no way. Ballon d'Oro. This is the same person that people were singing, Rodri Ballon d'Oro. Rodri Ballon d'Oro. Ballon d'Oro. Ballon d'Oro. I was there. That's not Ballon d'Or. Try the Vinny flick. You're not Vinny. He got rampaged so many times in this half. Listen, if this was Casemiro, if this was any other player, we would be on to them. Rodri, I am on to you. One of the worst first halves I've seen from a top-class defensive midfielder. Now, a lot of people will come on to me and say, you know what, you shouldn't be this harsh. Rodri's not fully fit. Guys, I do not care. This is a big game for Manchester City. This is Rodri who is nominated for the Ballon d'Or, and this is not the kind of performance that he wants to really put forward as one of the performances we're going to look for. Of course, this is very, very poor. I mean, terrible. We've seen him get... I think he's been rampaged 3 or 4 or 5 times. He's lost the most duels on the pitch today. He's lost possession so many times. Rodri, terrible. Apart from that, it's been a decent game. Inter Milan have missed chances. But yeah, still 0-0. Cupola, make sure you follow.
What is Darmian doing? Just shoot! Why is he trying to backheel that? It's ended up 0-0 between Man City and Inter. And he's injured again, which is just absolutely fantastic. Got injured against Inter in the Champions League final the other year. Then it's happened again. Like, he's so injury prone at the minute. But hopefully it's nothing too serious. Is Haaland even on the pitch? Don't know, can't remember. He did absolutely nothing. The only thing I noticed Haaland doing the entire game is asking a Cherby if he wanted his shirt because he keeps holding it. No, obviously he's not supposed to have the ball a lot. That's not the way the system works. And to be fair, when he was on the ball, he actually did quite well with it. I think it's just more the Inter defence just dealt with him really well. They dealt with everything really well. They were literally just passing it around, doing 1-2s in their own box as they get impressed by Man City players. Like, it was absolutely insane. They looked so calm. Like, every single Inter player looked so calm that entire time. Barella was absolutely fantastic. Obviously got the man of the match and he clearly deserved it. He was at the heart of everything Inter did and he just played so well today. Zaghi will be really happy with that performance for Inter. Every time they weren't on the ball, they were in a solid 5-3-2. So compact and so solid. Man City just could barely get through them. I think City fans will probably be a bit disappointed. Foden should have probably scored there, but he just hit straight at the keeper. Gundogan had an effort late on as well, straight at the keeper again. To be honest, a 0-0 I think is a very fair result for him. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments.
Erling Haaland, you are an absolute fraud. Nobody should ever come and tell me this guy is the best player in the world. I will punch you. I am telling you, if you come close to me and say that rubbish, I will remove your teeth. I'm not even joking. So you are telling me once you are not playing against the Premier League plumber, these part-time farmers, Ipswich Town and Brentford and the likes, you cannot score a hat-trick. You met your first proper defense, Italian defense. Nothing you did. One shot throughout the game, you have been scoring hat-trick. You are on 9 goals. Everybody else in Premier League is on 3 goals. When you have come now and made the proper defense, you did nothing. I've been following you closely. I've been analyzing you. 6 shots per game, 7 shots per game, 5 shots per game. I now use my knowledge of analysis because this is a ball knowledge game, the most addictive game currently in football, a game that is changing the football gaming industry. Squads. I went there. I put it. You score, you shoot more than 4 points. I didn't even say you should score. I didn't say you should score for me. Just shoot over 4.5 shots. You did nothing. God. This is a game I've been beating and showing my ball knowledge. While beating it, I've been cashing out consistently. Because you cannot play this game if you don't know ball. All of you that you say you know ball. You cannot play it. The best thing is that they have options for everything. You can choose whether a striker will score more or less than 0.5 goals. So that means basically a striker will score more or less than 1 goal. For midfielders, you can choose whether a midfielder will have more or less passes. Defenders are in these categories. Anybody can be in this category for more or less passes. We don't discriminate over here. We go to goalkeepers too. Will your goalkeeper have more or less than 0.5 clearances? And trust me when I say this is the best game in football currently. This is highly addictive. In a very good way. If you have ball knowledge, you play this game and you win while you are testing your ball knowledge. You have to watch the game of football. You have to study the game of football. So go and click on the link in my bio and register for the Squads app immediately. You register immediately. You just credit your account. I think the minimum you can credit your account is like 1k. But that will be nothing. Credit it and start playing immediately. Play! Erling Haaland, man, no catch you. Let me just hold you. Let me not hold that your ponytail. Let me not just catch you. Just give me more than 4 shots. More than 4 shots. You couldn't do it. Now I'll be hungry for this week.
Well, that was fucking diabolical. I just wasted 90 minutes of my life watching that shit. For real though, how are we letting these guys come to the Etihad, the fortress, and mug us off like that? I don't even care if we drew. That shit felt like we lost. Miss after miss after miss. I swear we couldn't finish a roast dinner if we wanted to. Like Foden, I know you just came back, but how the fuck do you miss this? Shoot anywhere but the middle, that's a goal. I don't get it, everything just started falling apart. Our defense started leaking chances like no tomorrow. So many unnecessary mistakes. Haaland was completely double teamed, only getting 1 shot off the whole game. And just to make things even better, Kevin De Bruyne gets injured just before Arsenal. I love this game. Why now, man? Why? The thing is, we didn't even play terrible. It was just this moment that changed the game completely. Thank the Lord he chose not to shoot. I don't know why, but thank you. But yeah, the only player that deserves respect is Jack Grealish. He was amazing today. Bro was actually gliding on that pitch. I know I'm not going to be deluded and say we deserve to win, because Inter actually held their own. But we were inches away from the win, man. Inches.
Oh, it's only Barnsley, they said. Oh, 7 goals at home don't mean anything, they said. How about you score 1 goal on a Champions League night? Manchester United scored 7 goals on a Champions League night, Manchester City. You're a fake Manchester club. You're telling me your first game after the 115 charges trial, you struggled to score a goal? Erling Haaland, I just want to say thank you very much for doing every football fan a favour, because you have not broken Ronaldo's record. Thank you, Erling Haaland, for not breaking Ronaldo's record for being the fastest player ever to score 100 career goals. But I do want to say though, off that side, off the laughing and banter side, the amount of games footballers have to play is crazy, bro. The injuries are stacking up. No Odegaard for a long while for Arsenal, and now Kevin De Bruyne might miss the game as well with an injury. Injuries are ruining football, bro. Man City, you're finito.
Erling Haaland is an incredible footballer. I don't need to say that he's one of the best strikers in the world. I praise him week in, week out on this platform. The one thing I'd still say about him, ever so slightly, is in the big games, I'm still really waiting for him to explode. And don't get me wrong, he's never going to score the same amount of goals that he does against, you know, the lower sides in the Premier League or in the cup competitions or whatever, or in the lower sides in the Champions League than he does against the big teams, because nobody really does that, apart from maybe Messi or Ronaldo, who just score the same amount of goals against everyone. But I'm really still not feeling like he's having a huge impact in these big games for Manchester City just yet. Now, I'm also of the opinion that Haaland has such a good effect on this City team outside of his goals as well, you know, dragging players out of position, his movement, and that has led to great things in the past as well. In terms of making yourself that sort of global superstar, to get Ballon d'Or shouts, to get best player in the world shouts, that's what he needs to do now. And if he does that, he'll be up there with absolutely no doubt. And, you know, with key specific examples in recent times, you know, the FA Cup last season, the Champions League last year against Real Madrid, the Champions League final before that, he's not had his best games in those big games. And like I said, that's what you need to do to be at that level. But once he finally cracks that, I mean, you know, what can any of us really say? This is sort of just nitpicking, really. I mean, he is the best striker in the world alongside Harry Kane. So, you know.
Mr. Hat-Trick. Mr. Hat-Trick. This is the problem with Haaland, man. We'll praise this guy so much. Yeah, one of the greatest goal scorers we've seen. Blah, blah, blah. Mr. Hat-Trick every week. Yeah, Mr. Record Breaker. But in these games, yeah, this is a big game against a very well-drilled Inter Milan team, yeah? And this is where you see his limitations. Like, he'll go in and score another hat-trick, you know what I'm saying, in a couple of weeks again in the Premier League, you know? But in these type of games where teams are super drilled to stopping him from making runs in behind, from having the space that he wants, you have to have other things to your game. Literally. Because City are just going to play sideways, 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 sideways. I can't see you because you're crowded in the middle. Like, yes, there's time I can maybe cross the ball to you, but it's you against literally 2 backs or 4s, man. And this is where sometimes you have to drop deep, link up the game and do something else, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and today, I don't know how many touches he had today, bro. But in that game, apart from that, he had that 1 attempt on goal. Well, he had 2 attempts on goal. 1 on target, 1 went wide, you know. But apart from that, he did nothing. Absolutely nothing. He ghosted, man. I know it's not just him. City overall, a lot of the players were struggling to actually create. KDB in the first half, before he got injured, disaster class from him. Rodri, disaster class from him. You understand? Jack Grealish, yeah, kept winning fouls. We all know that's Jack Grealish. Savio couldn't, he tried a few things, but again, there was just no space to operate, man. The game was very slow, and Inter Milan made it difficult for Man City, man. But yeah, these are the games you need more from Erling Haaland. No, it's nice to see him score hat-tricks, but sometimes you need an all-round game where he's not scored no goals, but you've watched the game and felt like Haaland today was incredible.
45 minutes of absolute disaster class from Rodri. You thought we were not going to see this disaster class? I mean, we know Rodri hasn't really played since the Euros, but guys, there is no way. Ballon d'Oro. This is the same person that people were singing, Rodri Ballon d'Oro. Ballon d'Oro. Ballon d'Oro. Ballon d'Oro. I was there. That's not Ballon d'Or. Try the Vinny flick. You're not Vinny. He got rampaged so many times in this half. Listen, if this was Casemiro, if this was any other player, we would be on to them. Rodri, I am on to you. One of the worst first halves I've seen from a top-class defensive midfielder. Now, a lot of people will come on to me and say, you know what, you shouldn't be this harsh. Rodri's not fully fit. Guys, I do not care. This is a big game for Manchester City. This is Rodri who is nominated for the Ballon d'Or, and this is not the kind of performance that he wants to really put forward as one of the performances we're going to look for. Of course, this is very, very poor. I mean, terrible. We've seen him I think he's been rampaged 3 or 4 or 5 times. He's lost the most duels on the pitch today. He's lost possession so many times. Rodri, terrible. Apart from that, it's been a decent game. Inter Milan have missed chances, but yeah, still 0-0. Cupola, make sure you follow.